Hey, Lele. Hey, Husky. Hey, Noah. It's going well. How are all of you? We're gonna continue this game. Hold on. Hey, Jim. All right. Shall we? Let's keep pushing. We're gonna play for a few hours today. I'm probably not getting the 100 today, but hopefully I will set myself up in a nice position to have it done in no time. I mean, yeah, listen, people who are misinformed are just gonna comment whatever. Like, when I got my Tagger Toten world record, there was one guy who commented, like, oh, this is cheated because, and they listed a bunch of reasons. And I was like, listen, the full footage of the entire game is in the description. If you wanna accuse me of cheating, let me know which parts I cheated, please. Five Guys is always a move. Can never go wrong with Five Guys. Don't have Five Guys over there, sadly. That is quite sad. You're missing out. Five Guys is good. Five Guys always hits the spot. Nice. I love this strategy. Like, I mean, obviously I'm aware that quite a few faster strategies exist, but this strat's just so simple and yet so fun. Like, everything just lines up so nicely. It's clean. Downing on round 64, Ascension warrant a restart. That is up to you. When you, wait, goal 100, no quick revive? When you say no quick revive, do you mean like you're getting rid of the machine, or like you're supposed to, or you want to go to 100 flawless? Because like if your goal's just around 100 and you take it down, you could probably play it out. But that's up to you. It's really, it's your choice to determine if you think the down that you took is like enough of a detriment that you are not confident you'll hit 100. If you are confident that you'll hit 100, then just play it out. Do-do-do. Yeah, I would play it out because, like, listen, if your goal's to hit 100, best case scenario is that you hit 100, and the worst case scenario is that you down again and you, like, learn from your mistakes, basically. Like, if you take another down, review the footage, figure out why you went down. Right? Even for the first one, even if it was BS, sometimes that happens. Just down on 65 on Varrooked, got no more revives. You'll be fine. The only way to learn is to fail and try again. Well, you know, not the only way, but like, that is an easy way to learn. Just keep pushing. Hey, Spare. Ah! Oh, we got Rainbow Road. Yeah, I streamed late yesterday. Ah. I drink soda, I eat pizza. Alright, Sneeger. Yeah, I'll be on for a few more hours. Probably like 3 hours today. We'll see. We'll see what round I can get to. I don't have enough time to get to 100 this stream. But hopefully I set myself up nicely so that, like, I can easily get there during my next stream. This round, this feels like not that many zombies. Yep. You are earlier than all of them, yes. Hey, Chris, how's it going? A lot of times whenever I hit the far trap during a round transition, it's often not enough time to make it back there. Yeah, that's fine. I'm doing well. I'm having a lot of fun playing this map. Like, 5, easily an A tier map for me. Because it's a map that, like, seems difficult on paper. And if you don't know what you're doing, it is difficult. But, like, as soon as you kind of understand the setup and as soon as you kind of get this part of the strategy going, oh, you're chilling. It's great. What's the delay with 5 on BO3? Someone's working on it, last I remember, right? I don't know a lot of details about custom maps. Five is extremely satisfying because it's the perfect example of just like good movement and just generally understanding the positions of the zombies is how you master this map. That's it. Like, notice how I just kind of inch my way up and just like that, I got all the zombies behind me. Oh, why? Sorry, it's just laughing at the way the windows broke. You don't get any zombies coming from the door opposite the trap? Which one? You mean like there? These two? Because here's what I'll point out. Notice how the zombies that are coming out of this door, the one that's under these buttons, come through the door and they don't go to the right. And the reason is because I'm stalling over here and they want to chase me out this way. You want to high round a map but you don't know which map? Gorod Krovi. Revelations or Ascension? I mean, Revelations is easy. I think Revelations is fun. I don't know why Revelations gets such a bad rap. People are like, "Oh, it's a remake. It perfectly does what it was trying to accomplish. It's a really good, like, kind of mashup of a bunch of maps." BO1 Shinonuma? I sure hope not. Yeah, Rev really does a good job of what it was trying to accomplish. Being like fucking fractured versions of a bunch of other maps. Thundergun on Rev is peak. The only problem with Rev is that they just made it too easy because they have the fucking Apothicon Servant and Thundergun on the map. But like, sometimes easy is fun. I'm not a fan of Shinonuma on Black Ops 3. Also, don't forget there's at least one more version of Shinonuma. Pact is on, like, 190 plus, doing no gums. That's round. This seems like a pretty fast strat. It's somewhat fast.
Warning. Breach detected on level 3. Initiate security protocol 115.
Do you think Transit would have been received better if it was in Black Ops 3? No. I think that Transit just needs some changes. For some reason, multiple people commented on my YouTube short, and they were like, actually, you're cheating. You didn't get the bonfire sale. Even though, in that YouTube short, the bonfire sale just, like, spawned where I was standing, and so I just picked it up. Am I unhardened? I'm not unhardened. Hello. Nice 16-second round. Ready for that Call of the Dead round 100? I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Void. I have a mod that I don't normally use that I created that switches all of the excavator announcements and all of the automated announcements on Moon to be New York City subway announcements. I could do something similar for 5, probably. I don't think one player Call of the Dead will reach around 150. I mean, if you use some of the forbidden technology, maybe. I'm still very doubtful. Probably not. When are we gonna change the astronaut noises on BO3 Moon to be We Are Charlie Kirk versus? Oh god. I know that... I don't know how to change sound files on BO3, but I bet it wouldn't be difficult to figure out. I know that you can change the astronaut name on BO3 as well. I don't know how to do that either. Could you high round Darius with no mule kick? Yeah, you could. You would probably drop the ray gun and keep the Thompson and Wonderwaff. Because, like, even though the ray gun's really good for killing dogs, you can also just use, like... You can use the Thompson plus Bowie knife to kill dogs. You can use whatever to kill dogs. Doesn't the astronaut zombie get his name from your friends list? Yeah, normally, yes. However, if you play on local on Xbox or PS3, like, it can't retrieve your friends list names, so it has like a list of developer names that it uses. I'm gonna go to 100 and then I'm gonna quit. What's the next 100 on my mind? I mean, I don't know what 100's gonna be voted for next. We'll have to see when the 5 video ends up releasing. I have a weird feeling that another Black Ops 1 map is gonna win, and basically all that's left is Noct and Shinonuma. I guess Call of the Dead could be voted for, but like, I'm not gonna play out a game of Call of the Dead 100. I'm gonna use existing footage and probably talk about some co-op stuff. Yeah, if you voted Ancient Evil, I'd be very happy. I would love to see 9. I would love to see Ancient Evil. I would love to see Gorod Krovi. I would be a fan of. Zetsubo, I'm sort of, in a weird way, looking forward to. I would love it if Die Rise was next. I wouldn't particularly hate Transit. Transit would be okay. I know what Gobblegum you're referring to. That Gobblegum's a lot less useful than one might imagine. It's not, like, you wouldn't be killing them very quickly at all. Hold on. Why doesn't someone keep repairing the window and hit the world record in the fastest time? The gum only lasts 5 minutes, and you would not be fast. Like, if you think about the giant one window, they spawn really far away, and then they have to, like, walk all the way up to the window. So you'd be killing them quite slowly, like, a lot slower than if you had, like, an Alchem plus a Wonderwaff. But you can swap it out. Yeah, it wouldn't be fast. One window strategies might sound easy, but one window strategies aren't always the fastest way. They are on Tagger Toten, but that really has a lot to do with, like, just how quick BO4 spawns are. You could hit 4-player world record, though? Yes, but you wouldn't need the board games Gobblegum to do that. You could just have 4 players with AATs just spamming into the window. And 4-player world record is sort of, like, that doesn't mean anything in terms of, like, determining what is meta or what is good. You've seen Lex use it on a 1-window map? Well, that's a 1-window map, not the giant. And again, like, it only lasts for 5 minutes. You very quickly will hit a point where rounds are longer than 5 minutes. Even in a 1 window. Especially on the giant, because they're so slow. Like, the 1 window on the giant is just quite a bit slower than other strategies. Am I a fan of Mario Kart Double Dash? I am. There's a lot of banger courses on that game. Like, there's only a couple stinkers. Like, Peach Beach is a bit of a stinker. Baby Park, you either love it or hate it. Dry Desert, I feel like, is a little bit of a stinker. It's slightly better on the 8 Deluxe version, but I don't know. That one feels a little underwhelming. Hey, how's it going? Plutonium is no longer free? What are you talking about? Hey, Patrick. You officially have to own CODs now? Yes, that's been that way for a few years now. And newsflash, you want to know how they check to actually make sure that you own the COD? But it checks if you own the game. Yeah, you want to know how it checks? That's around. How many downs? None. What round? What are you asking? Oh, shit. How? I'll tell you how. It puts up a message on screen that says you need to own the game to play it. And then you click OK. And then you start playing. Like, do you think I own Black Ops 2? I can't see the... Oh, you're on vertical. I'm on round 56 right now. If you go to my channel, you can see the horizontal stream. Again, this is a change that was made a few years ago. This is nothing new. And, again, the change is, hey, please swear that you own the game. Because otherwise they get in trouble with Activision. If you try to download it again, it doesn't let you. Well, you're not... Yeah, the point is you can't download the game files from Plutonium. Plutonium just checks to see if you have the game files. It doesn't check where you got them from. And it doesn't offer them to you for free. But as long as you get the game files from somewhere, that's all it's checking for. If it isn't working, you must not have installed it correctly. You all just got coconut mauled. Listen, I can't necessarily, like, reveal on stream. I can't start streaming and say, here's how to pirate the game. But, like, do a little digging, you'll find it.
Shatter their will.
Alejandro, thank you for the sub. Welcome. There was no buried command. If you want to add one, you can. It's up to you. As soon as I finish 5, I'm definitely going right back to buried, and I'm actually gonna, like, grind it. You prefer the simplicity of playing online easily? Are you implying that playing online easily involves using Steam? My buried game, I believe, is on 56. Let's regroup here. I was like, that just started getting a little sketch. I probably could have gotten away with hitting the trap, but...
Shatter their will.
Suki, thank you for the sub. Welcome. I played Cold War recently with one of my friends in real life. Because I have a friend who, like, played zombies a lot when he was younger, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, but, like, kind of hasn't played since then, and so he wanted to play with me because he knew that I was good at zombies, and I was like, listen, you know, my Xbox is sort of not in the best condition. We can play on the PlayStation. Problem is, Black Ops 3 doesn't let you pause on split screen, so we were just playing Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War mainly. I showed him a bunch of the BO4 maps, and then I showed him all the Cold War maps, I think. I don't know if we played Forsaken yet. The most recent one he and I played together was Firebase Z, which I haven't played in years. I'm not super concerned about the idea of BO6 eventually being offline. One, because it doesn't affect me personally, because I'm probably never going to touch that game again. And if BO6 wins a vote somehow, I will be throwing a fit. And I will be upset. Huh. I didn't think that was the end of the round. Yeah, I have no idea why BO3 doesn't let you pause on split screen. That is such a bizarre choice. You got accepted to a closed beta? I don't think I've done that. The only betas that I've ever really played were like the, you know, like some of the COD betas that were publicly available. I played the Black Ops 7 beta. And then I played, like, the Destiny beta way back in the day. Which was weird, because I remember playing the Destiny beta with my friends and saying, oh, this is kind of fun, I'm enjoying this. And then I bought the game, and we played it for a little bit, and, like, all my friends and I kind of unanimously agreed, like, man, this got boring really quick. Huh. And I felt bad for purchasing the game outright. I don't know what it was. It just couldn't hold my attention for very long. Last time I had real fun with a newer title was Pizza Tower. Well, okay, I'll tell you. There's 2 games that I thoroughly enjoyed that have come out in the last couple of years. And the first is Balatro. And the second is an indie game that came out somewhat recently called Horsey Game. And it's a game, I can't really say anything about the game without spoiling too much. But if you haven't heard of Horsey Game, it is so worth it. It's available on Steam. It's like $10, I think. It is a game with no tutorial. You just hop in and you figure it out. And you just enjoy it. You wanted to try Balatro? Balatro is so worth it. It's $15 on Steam, $10 on mobile. I put like almost 1,000 hours into Balatro already. Do I find this more hard than Verrückt? Not even close. Verrückt is a lot harder than this. Remember, like, Verrückt, not only did I struggle a lot with the early rounds, and, like, I was only able to get a handful of attempts past round 37 when I could start traps. Remember, Verrückt, I died multiple times in the 40s and 50s. I died once in the 60s. I died once in the 80s. And then I, like, finally got the run after however many attempts. Meanwhile, this map, I died a handful of times while trying to set the windows, but my first attempt where I got the window set, I got to 78, and this is attempt number 2. Thief round?
Warning. Breach detected on level 3. Initiate security protocol 115. Attention fire. Containment failure. System monitoring will remain on alert status.
The only hard part of this map is setting up windows. Exactly. It's weird. The early rounds are easy. The high rounds are easy. Setting the windows is annoying. This is my second attempt where I successfully set the windows. And I'm fucking flawless too right now. And I'm gonna make that very clear in the tutorial. Like, listen, I understand that a lot of you think this map is hard. It is not hard.
Security lockdown.
It really isn't hard. I genuinely trust that many of you will watch my tutorial and go, huh, I never thought of it that way, and you'll get to 100 on 5 just as easily as I am. I trust. Because you guys can see the strategy. Look, this is the strategy. Stand right here. Once these guys start climbing out of the window, or once you're like about to get hit, you inch your way up like this. You shoot a little bit over here. And look, now I have the whole horde behind me. That's it. And then you bring them through the trap. And then you repeat the exact same way. I'm gonna stand here. I'm watching this window. As soon as they start climbing out of the window, I inch my way up there. Like this. Once I get through the door, shoot them. all the zombies behind me. That's it. Like, it's literally just about moving slow. And that's it. And then watch. Same thing. Stand here, watching for this window. They're starting to climb out. I'm gonna inch my way forward. Shoot them here. All the zombies behind me. Pull them through the trap. And again, same thing. Stand right here. Watch for this window. Starting to climb out, inch my way forward. Get through the door, shoot him. Inching, 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 jump through the trap. Alright, that was a little weird that 2 didn't die, but, like, doesn't even matter. Even if something like this gets messed up, just slow walk them. Just, same thing. Look at that, I fixed it. Like, it's that easy. And then if you ever get trapped, you'll notice I've got 13 monkey bombs, because I'm holding out my crossbow all the time. And unlike Verrückt, where, like, you never get monkeys back and you don't have a crossbow, like, you got 13 monkey bombs. They refill every time you have a thief round, so every 4 to 5 rounds you get more. So I have an absurd amount of room for error. Same exact thing every single time. Verrückt is a little bit more complicated because you have to be much... Oh boy. Verrückt is a little bit more complicated because you have to be much more cognizant of, like, zombies spawning all around and, like, more zombies being killed by the trap while you're dealing with respawners. Because with this strategy, you're just killing full hordes all at once and then they all respawn all at once. It's really simple. How often have you had to fire bow shots post 50? Okay, so I'm on round 59 right now. And I started this stream on round 50. I have shot the bow once this stream. I hope that answers your question. Right? Sometimes it can get a little, like, if you start having a bunch of zombies dying, like, at weird intervals, it can get a little sketch, but, like, if you just group up the zombies and just kind of chill for a second and kill them all at once, you can fix anything. Easiest map in Zombies history is BO3 Ascension. I would say Rev is easier than BO3 Ascension, for one. Yeah, the window setup I will extensively cover in the tutorial. Because that is, like, don't get me wrong, setting the windows is easily the hardest part, by far. Alright, like the one place in your run that you will die and lose your run is setting the windows. It's not doing the early round strat, it's not doing the high round strat, it's just setting the windows. That's the only hard part of the strategy. How much longer is this round 100 relative to Ascension? Ascension is a little bit shorter, but they're honestly similar. I mean, honestly, Ascension depends a lot on your box luck. While this map, it's just, like, play the early rounds quickly, and that makes a big difference. And, like, doing 2.0 compared to the Ascension strategy that I taught in my video, similar time. Yeah, this is like 8.5 hours. Oh no, this guy didn't die. Oh well, I'll just bring him into the next horde. Doesn't matter. And that's round. I definitely could have killed him with this trap, but it's okay. Oh, I forgot to buy ammo. It's fine. Do. How I enjoy Modern Zombies with a health cap? I don't. Yeah, like, I'm not joking, and I'm gonna make this extremely clear when I do make the tutorial. Like, people think that 5 is going to be as hard as Verrückt. 5, I think, is third easiest behind Ascension and Kino right now. Genuinely. Now, like, if I'm speaking from a personal view, I do think that Moon is easier than 5, but also, Moon just has, like, a lot of nuance and a lot of steps that you have to understand. And, like, if you don't fully understand the Tunnel 11 loop, or if you don't understand, like, how to easily hack or how to easily trade, those are things that can sort of, like, mess with your experience on Moon. But in terms of, like, if you want a casual player who doesn't really know how to high round past 30 or 40 to get to round 100, I would say Ascension or Kino's easiest. 5 is right behind it. Moon takes knowledge of the mechanics. Once you have the knowledge, Moon is easy, but, like, it's a lot of studying. But this map, like, you just gotta set the windows and you're chilling. It's a really close quarters map. The early rounds aren't even that close quarters what I was doing, because I was training in the war room. And for the high rounds, like, yeah, you could argue it's close quarters, but once I make my video, once I, like, explain the strategy in detail, you guys are gonna be like, oh, shit. Like, just watch what I'm doing right now. Close quarters means nothing. All you gotta know is just, like, how to, all you gotta know is how to set the windows, and once you have the windows set, just the same thing. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, look at that. I have every single zombie right there. Huh, easy. Every zombie behind me. And those guys are stuck in a window. That's annoying. I feel like in the 40s the spawns are too slow. In the 40s the spawns are perfect in this room. And, like, you go back to my footage from yesterday and see how I was doing. Like, you can start the strategy on 37 and be pretty much fine. Just trying to do Doris. Doris is not so bad. Doris, I would say, is a little harder than this, ironically enough. I'm loving 5 right now. Like, this is very rapidly becoming one of my favorites in this game. One of. Nothing's gonna top Moon, of course. Oh, did I not buy ammo? What happened? Why do I have no shots? I don't know. I do hate when people are like, oh, high rounding's just the same thing over and over again. When, like, the way that they play is fucking train in the war room until 30 and then die. Because once you understand this, it's so satisfying. It's really fun to play. Which I felt the same way about Farouk in a lot of ways. Like, once you understand it, it's fun. But Farouk can just be more frustrating because it's more difficult. Like I said, this one's not difficult. Now do it without aim assist. Aim assist doesn't help on zombies. What map was it? And that's round. Can I go down real quick to show the down recovery? I could do that, yes. Wouldn't that person understand that, like, playing on controller is itself a disadvantage? Is zombies easier on keyboard or controller? I mean, the short answer is whatever your preference is. I play on controller because that's how I've always played. But I believe the objective answer is you can be more accurate on keyboard and mouse than you can on controller. But, like, you have to be good at playing on keyboard and mouse. Partially personal preference, partially, like, the best players all play keyboard and mouse. You have more control over your movement on controller. I mean, I guess if you're talking about moving slowly, yeah, but a lot of times the better aim sort of outweighs that movement. The ceiling is higher on KBM, yeah, KBM. Do 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 do. Wiimote and nunchuck. Yeah, that's true. If you're not playing on Wiimote and nunchuck with the motion controls, what are you doing? MNK or KBM? I say KBM. Would you do a Wii Kino tutorial if it got voted? If it did get voted, I would. Although, I don't feel like the tutorial will be all that much different from my already existing Kino tutorial. Does the fire trap work the same way? I actually don't know off the top of my head. I believe there is a spot you could stand where, like, everything will die. But you would have to check, like, the guy who got to instas and see what he did. This might be round. And this might be Pentagon Thief. What's the goal today? I'm gonna play for like 3 hours and see where I'm at. I'm not sure exactly what round that will be. Ideally, I'm in a spot by the end of the stream where I have like 2 hours left or maybe less before I get to 100. That's sort of what I'm aiming for. Part of that, of course, just involves try to get as many 4-rounders as I can. Hold up. When I saw the zombie go to the right, I was like, let me make sure nothing bad happens. I most certainly could have gotten away with hitting the trap, but better safe than pregnant. Let me tell you, there is no Black Ops 7 strategy, and there will never be a Black Ops 7 strategy that is as cool as this one. And the reason for that is because on Black Ops 7, the zombies are just faster than you. So, like, I can't do the whole inching up thing to gather the horde. They would fucking destroy me. And so, because of that, my only options are to, like, camp in some way where the trap kills all of them, which is what some of the Totenreich strategies look like. And even that doesn't deal with the fucking big Poseidon boss dudes, whatever they're called. Ooh. Is there anyone who likes super sprinters? Not to my knowledge. The high rounders are miserable. Like, You know it's bad when it's like the day the map came out and fucking MC and Mystic and Insomnia Virus and all of them are on round 200, 300 plus, like in under 24 hours, and all of them are going, yeah, this high round strategy sucks. And this map's not very fun. And Decal has already gone back to Paradox Junction. Yeah, the gold camo was so good. And it was iconic because it was the best camo in the game. It was the camo that you unlocked when you got to Prestige 14. So few people were actually able to get gold camo. It looks beautiful in this game. Diamond camo in BO2 also looks beautiful. And then I'm a huge fan of Dark Matter on BO3, but like, past that, camos just got worse. You know? BO4 Diamond is fine. It's only good when you get the reactive, except like the reactive only sometimes works on zombies. Like you can never get the full Rainbow Diamond with the Helion Salvo, in my experience. Yeah, there was Prestige in BO1. BO1 had 15 Prestiges. And you only unlocked gold camo when you got to Prestige 14. And then you could buy it for one weapon at a time for 50,000 COD points. And COD points were a very different thing back then, because they were not IRL currency. Is this Pentagon Thief? Yep.
Warning. Breach detected on level 3. Initiate security protocol 1.5. Containment failure. System monitoring will remain on alert status.
Ah, just what the doctor ordered.
Love me a 12-second round. Alright, I had it 63, so it could be on a certain round, or it could be on 68. Which would be good if I get to skip that certain round by having it be a 12-second round.
Security workplace.
Have the 6-7 memes died yet? They're mostly dead. There's some people who are like still dragging it for some reason, but it's been dead for some time. At least it's dead amongst the adults. I fear that it is actually dead amongst the children, and it's some adults who don't seem to get it that are dragging it on, which is how a meme dies, if you think about it. Like, you know, if she was slightly more relevant, we would have seen Hillary Clinton do a 6-7, and that's how you know that it's dead. If Kamala Harris were president, she would have done a 6-7, and that would have been cringe as fuck. The only reason Donald Trump hasn't done it by now is because he's an 80-year-old decrepit man who has dementia. Pokemon, go to the polls. Does the place where you stand matter at the start of the horde as far as zombie spawns? No, but also slightly yes, and let me explain in a second. So, we're familiar with the concept of spawn zones, right? Zombies spawn in the zone that you're in and all adjacent zones. 5 is weird, so the entire first room, including the area behind me, is all one zone. And then if you go through this door to where the other trap is, that's a separate zone. But that separate zone, all it does is activate spawns like that are over here, which you don't necessarily want, but it's also not the end of the world. But like, you want to try to be in this area, because then it just limits it to the 4 windows in this room, plus the 2 windows that are right here. But also, I specifically stand against this pole. And the reason I do that is because I want the zombies coming out of this window not to get pulled this way through the trap, and instead to come through the door first, and then to sort of like go in front of the table. Because if these guys get killed by the trap instantly, they're gonna like respawn all over and it gets messy. So I stay towards the left here to pull them this way. And Wizard, I am gonna like sort of explain it in those words when I make the video, and I'm trusting that you'll like edit it in such a way that you'll show arrows on screen or whatever to kind of illustrate that. So even with the idea that zombies spawn in the rooms next to you, the windows next to the elevator won't be active? Yeah, pretty much. So like, listen, I'm gonna kill them in here. There's like a 3-second spawn delay, so I just step in here, and the 2 windows next to the elevator, they're not gonna spawn out of those. They are going to spawn there, and they are going to spawn there. They're not going to spawn in the 2 far windows, because I just step inside of here in time. But also, like, even if they do spawn out of those 2 windows, it really doesn't matter, because you just delay making it up there long enough that they're gonna catch up anyway. Yeah, if you ordered your burger already, that's fine. Because it's not like they kick you out of a Five Guys for waiting for your burger, right? That wouldn't make sense. The Five Guys are great. JFK, Castro, McNamara, Nixon, and Yuri. Oh yeah, the Five Guys, all 5 of them. KFC. The Colonel. wonder if Castro ever played 5. We were having a conversation like this on a somewhat recent stream. How many playable Zombies characters were able to play the maps that they were featured on? And the answer is the Call of the Dead crew plus Castro. As in characters who play themselves, not like the celebrities on other maps. You've never been to a Five Guys? You're missing out, my friend. Here's the thing about Five Guys, is like, yeah, the burgers are expensive. You're paying for the quality. You're paying because the burger's fucking fire, man. And they understand that. Like, that was what their whole business philosophy was based on. Like, people would be willing to pay more for, like, oh, fuck. For fresh ingredients and like, a good fucking burger. Is this round anyway? Yeah, I think it is. Trump, Hegseth, Kamala, and who? It wouldn't be Kamala. It would be Biden. Probably Zelensky, I would say. Putin, maybe. I would say it. I don't know if it would be Hegseth either. I think it would be it would be like Biden, Trump, Obama, and like Zelensky or something like that. Because I think like 5, you got 3 good guys and 1 bad guy, right? The bad guy's Castro. And then you got 3 good guys. You know, I'm sort of lumping Nixon into the good guy category in this case. JD Vance. Oh my god. President, election loser, Department of Defense, and bad guy. I would say, yeah, Trump, Biden. It wouldn't be Kamala, it would be Biden. Trump, Biden, Hegseth, and... Well, I would argue not Hegseth. I would argue Marco Rubio, if we're going with that route. Because, like, if we want to talk about one of the people who, relatively speaking... I say relatively because, like, obviously nobody in the administration knows what the fuck they're doing. And they're all pretty unqualified, but I would say, like, if we want to talk about the objectively most qualified person, it's probably Marco Rubio. Like, if I had to pick one person in Trump's cabinet who would be the next president, who would, like, be the least bad option, it's Marco Rubio. But yeah, presidential zomboys would be fun. If we actually got a map of Trump, Biden, Obama, and like George Bush or something, they could all voice themselves. And you know Obama would love to. Because, like, think about it. What the fuck has Obama done since leaving office? Not all that much, all things considering. Like, he's basically just like a celebrity now. He fucking won, what was it? Didn't he win like an Oscar or something for his fucking nature documentary that he like did the voiceover for or whatever? RFK as a zombie. LBJ would have been interesting. Hey, Nicholas, how's it going? You guys remember when RFK was still running for president and, like, for no reason, he just posted a video where he was like, yeah, I, like, killed a bear and I didn't know what to do with the bear, so I just fucking dropped it in Central Park and pretended that somebody killed it with their bike. And we were all like, what the fuck? And that was either, like, shortly before or shortly after he, like, admitted he was like, yeah, I had a brain worm. Is this faster or slower than Kino? It's around the same speed. I think Kino might be a tiny bit faster. You were wee tot when RFK was president? RFK was never president. Are you thinking of JFK? Yeah, that teleporter spawn trap was a little ridiculous. Are you talking about RFK Sr. or are you talking about RFK Jr., the current director of Brainworms or whatever? It's weird to me that, like, if you think about it, RFK Jr. was the third most likely person to become President of the United States. That's just a weird thought. Like how Curtis Sliwa was the third most likely person to become mayor of New York. I'm still very glad that Curtis Sliwa, like, still has a public presence, because as much as he would be horrible at running a city, the dude is funny as fuck. And he's, like, actually entertaining. And it's not in, like, a Trump way where it's like, yeah, it's funny, but it's also kind of sad because it's like, this guy's destroying the country. But it's, like, funny to listen to him dementia rot on stage, I guess. Curtis Sliwa's just, like, genuinely got a hilarious personality. And he did a good job of, like, he didn't make the race about, oh, Mamdani's a fucking communist. Oh, Mamdani's a terrorist because he's Muslim. Like, it was never about that. It was always strictly about policy. What are you doing? He did that. Oh yeah, that skit with Mamdani was really funny. Because it's the same thing that someone like Obama would have done. Obama did so many cool and funny things when he was president. I think about when fucking Barack Obama and Joe Biden exchanged friendship bracelets. It's just a cute gesture, you know? Obama Prism. Yeah, like when you're being political, you going for personal attacks like that is just a low bar. Saying, "Oh, he can't be mayor because he's Muslim." It's like, fuck you. We're in the 21st century. We're past that shit. Like, and he never did that. Meanwhile, Trump will label anyone any horrific thing. It should be the minimum. It's not anymore. It's Trump's fault. And also the Republican Party's for propping up Trump for the last 10 plus years. The Republican Party had a chance to end Trump's chances of taking the presidency entirely, and they could have had someone much more moderate and much more well-liked if they had just voted to impeach him, voted to convict him. But nope. I'm still genuinely baffled by people that were like, I voted for Trump because of the economy. When have Republicans ever been better for the economy? Like, name any Republican president since Eisenhower who was good for the economy. Eisenhower was the last good Republican president we had. Who could have been running for the Republicans if not Trump? Anyone else? Marco Rubio? Fucking Nikki Haley, he would have been leagues better than this. Nikki Haley would have been very bad for, like, trans rights, but lesser of two evils. I'll take Nikki Haley over Trump 100% of the time. I don't think you can blame Republicans when Cuomo's strat was to attack Mamdani for being Muslim. I'm not blaming Republicans, I'm blaming Trump. And you're right, I am also blaming Cuomo. Right, Cuomo's whole strategy was, oh my god, you can't vote for Mamdani, he hates Jews. Which, there's been nothing to indicate that that's even true. Trump is actually pretty liberal. If by liberal you mean fascist, then yeah. Like, unless you're gonna quote some quote from him 10 years ago where he was, like, in 2016, where he was like, I don't care what bathroom people use. Which directly goes against the policies he has actively enacted since then. Because you know that he made a big part of his 2024 campaign, no more men playing in women's sports, which is such a non-issue. At what round did I set up Windows? I started trying to set up the Windows in the early 20s, and I think I finished it in the early 30s. What I did was, like, I changed the Windows, like, once per round until I eventually got it. And then if I didn't get it by, like, 40, I would have just kept going at it. I mean, yeah, in 2024, it was weird, because people were like, oh, Biden's doing this, and it was like, listen, do you not remember what it was like when Trump was president the first time? Trump's first presidency was a disaster. He spent the entire first year arguing with the Supreme Court because he tried to ban Muslims from entering the country outright, which was declared illegal like 4 times, and then he had to, like, finally make it legal by, like, giving a specific list of countries, half of whom weren't even our adversaries. Then, of course, he had 3 Supreme Court justices appointed, who then went on to overturn Chevron, overturn Roe v. Wade, overturn fucking these rights for these, like, who are very rapidly stripping away our democracy, who basically said, yeah, partisan gerrymandering is completely legal now. Have at it. Like, and then in 2018, Trump fires most of his cabinet for the first time because they refused to, like, help him spend $1 trillion on a border wall that would have objectively done nothing, because if you know anything about illegal immigration, you would know that, like, over 60% of illegal immigrants come in on fucking planes. A wall that cost $1 trillion would have done jack shit, and we all know that Mexico was never paying for it. Right, that was like the first 2 years of his presidency. 2019, he fired a bunch of his cabinet members again, got impeached for, remember, his first impeachment was because he wanted Ukraine to illegally announce an investigation into the Biden family because he knew that it was likely that Biden was going to be his opponent in 2020, and he wanted to, like, create a scandal for Biden. And then Ukraine was like, no, we're not just gonna, like, illegally announce an investigation to hurt your opponent's chances. And he responded to that by saying, okay, no more aid for you, no more weapons. Which many could argue directly led to Russia invading Ukraine, because they were in a much weaker position after that. And then COVID happened. And we all know how much of a disaster COVID was. And how that easily could have been prevented, because literally a year prior, Trump gutted the program that was supposed to prevent pandemics from getting widespread that Obama put in place. Which, in case you're wondering why, like, Ebola was such a massive scare and then turned into fucking, like, nothing at the end of the day, it's because we prevented that shit. Like, it's because we actually stopped it from getting into the country. There were 3 Ebola cases in the United States. Trump did fuck all to stop the spread of COVID. Had what I would objectively call a victory with Operation Warp Speed, which is like he pushed for the vaccines to be produced faster than they ever had been and pushed for them to be released, and then immediately campaigned on don't get the vaccine. Like, if he had handled COVID better, he would have won the 2020 election. Then in 2020, we got BLM, which Trump handled disastrously. And then finally, once he lost the election rightfully, he was the first and only president in history to contest the election and try to overturn the results, which was also illegal, the whole fake elector scheme. And then when the fake elector scheme didn't work, and when 70 courts said, no, sorry, you lost the election, we can't just overturn it, he sent a mob to the fucking Capitol to overthrow the government. Like, his presidency was a disaster. His presidency was easily the worst in American history. Like, we're talking as bad as James Buchanan and Andrew Johnson. And that is a horrible bar to be setting. And then in 2024, people were like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Let's fucking vote him in again. They could have picked anyone else. So yeah, in case you're wondering why I'm like salty that Trump is the fucking president, it's because people are so goddamn stupid. if Democrats ran an electable person, he would have lost. I don't disagree, right? Listen, I'm ashamed of the Democrats that Trump in 2016 and Trump in 2020, or rather Trump in 2024 and also 2020. Trump in 2016 and Trump in 2020 was such an easy candidate to beat because people knew he was going to be a horrible president. And we didn't want to put forward anyone who would have actually done anything for the American people. We put forward basically the same, but oh hey, like, yeah, the Democrats we're also gonna send billions and billions and billions of dollars to Israel and, like, probably do nothing about healthcare. But hey, at least trans people will have rights. Which, if you think about it, is something that, like, most Americans don't give a shit about. As much as I hate to say it, as much as I love sticking up for all of my trans friends, all of my trans viewers. Alright, we fucking lost. Because the Democrats are just as unelectable. And almost none of them are actually campaigning on things to benefit the average person. Remember, yeah, the GOP had a primary and did pick Trump, but that's also partly because of the cult. What the GOP should have done is they should have voted to convict him. The Republican senators had a chance to stop it. Oh yeah, 2028 is gonna be nuts. We'll see what ends up happening, because I have a really bad feeling that we're just gonna get like a Gavin Newsom versus Marco Rubio election, which is basically inviting ourselves for, hey, let's have 4 years of mildly reversing some of what Trump did, but also staying still kind of far right with Gavin Newsom, and then 4 years from now, everyone complaining that things aren't getting better, and a Republican getting elected again based on populism, only to reverse every good thing that they're trying to do. We really need a much more progressive candidate to shake things up. Why are we talking about politics in a Zombies live stream? Because it's my live stream. Because this is a free country, goddammit. I think both sides of this election will go further from center. I don't have a lot of faith in Democrats. I mean, well, listen, 2026, I assume, unless they really succeed in rigging the fuck out of this election, 2026 is going to be a blowout. Democrats are sweeping absolutely everything. I don't think I talked about politics yesterday. RIP Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a podcaster. He wasn't a prophet. Oh yeah, Charlie Kirk. Was he though? Yes. He was a podcaster. That's what his job was. His job was to go around and debate 18-year-olds. Because those were the only people who he could win debates against. It was funny, I was scrolling Instagram earlier today, and I saw a post that was just Charlie Kirk debating some 18-year-old, and the kid was like, hey, school lunches should be free. And he goes, absolutely not. Parents should pay for their own kids. And he was like, what about parents who work full time and still can't afford to feed their children? And he goes, there's no starving children in America. That doesn't exist. Which is like, so out of touch, man. Well, sure, yeah, listen, I'm not gonna fault Charlie Kirk for having an open platform. I'm gonna fault Charlie Kirk for his takes being terrible. I fully support the idea of free speech. I fully support the idea that, like, you should be allowed to go to whatever college campus you want and argue with a bunch of young adults. Like, you're allowed to do that. You more than have the right. You more than have the right to express your opinion. But it's like, it doesn't. That doesn't mean, like, he also did not deserve to be publicly assassinated, right? I'm not saying he deserved to be shot by any means. I don't know who Myron Gaines is, if I'm being honest. Is he similar to Nick Fuentes? Because Nick Fuentes is like one of those people who's sort of an up-and-coming, like, can you call him up-and-coming? I would say he's up-and-coming, like, young Republican, except Nick Fuentes is basically a Nazi. So he's, like, objectively worse than Charlie Kirk. Who's gonna talk about piss? Oh, fuck you. Oh, shit. This isn't gonna fix itself, is it? Yeah, a bunch of them just died. Alright, well. Okay, this is fine. Wizard, I don't know if you want to make a note that this happened on round 68, because I will have to address, like, hey, sometimes zombies can just, like, get stuck for some reason. Just watch out for that. Missed the meme round? The meme round was a Pentagon Thief round, actually. His political spectrum is Catholic reactionary, he said himself so. He also said that Hitler did a lot of good things, so, like, you can label it whatever you want. 69 is the true meme round, you're right. This is normal difficulty. Speaking of the meme round, getting a burger today? Huge. Are you getting your burger from a number of gentlemen? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, this is gonna shut off. Fuentes also hates Jews. What, are you fucking serious? Again? Again with this shit? Oh, wait. Did that just work? Did I just knife him and it just... Okay. Who's Fuentes? He's like some podcast bro that's like really right-wing. Who basically like preaches on his podcast that Hitler was good. Nom Nom, thank you for the sub. But also is like weirdly turning against Trump. Like, he was one of those Trump's not gonna start any new wars people, and then Trump started a new war. And then he was like, vote for the Democrats, vote for the Democrats. So, like, you know, he's a grifter, basically. Hey, Anomaly. Yeah, we're on the funny round. Same guys who made fun of George Floyd will get mad at you for joking about Charlie Kirk's death. Exactly. All right, I think one thing that we need to acknowledge in the modern day of the internet is, doesn't matter what side you are on, this is the worst era to die. Like, I feel really bad for George Floyd. Like, not only just dying in the way that he did, but also the fact that he's, like, still memed to this day. That's gotta suck. It's gotta really suck that George Floyd is gonna be showing up in history books. You know? I feel a similar way about Renee Good, Alex Preddy, also Charlie Kirk, right? As much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, like, he doesn't deserve what the fuck has been happening to him. But, you know, at the same time, like, you could say he had it coming. Granted, a lot of it comes from the top. It's like, listen, you can't be mad when people actively celebrate someone's death. When Trump is tweeting out, oh, James Comey's dead? Good, I'm glad he's dead. Oh, this person deserves to be, like, oh... Like, Trump is the one literally calling for violence, basically. Labeling people as radical left, saying that they're gonna destroy the country. Saying that the election's going to be stolen and that, like, you need to take matters into your own hands. Trump makes Woodrow Wilson look like Teddy Roosevelt? What do you mean by that? Trump makes Nixon look like one of the best presidents we've had in the last 60 years. Because, like, listen, Nixon doing Watergate compared to... Watergate is like a random Tuesday for Trump. I am JFK this game. He hasn't spoken in a while, because JFK doesn't have any quotes in regards to the traps. And I'm, like, basically never low on ammo where he goes, need some beans for the chowder. Not only did Nixon create the EPA, Trump gutted the EPA. Like, doesn't the EPA basically not exist anymore right now? You restart till you get Nixon. Nixon's cool too. What's my favorite Zombies character to play as? Ultimus Richtofen is my favorite. On this map, it's JFK, but... I agree, Epic Lane. Every character's fun to play as on this map. I think McNamara is probably the least interesting. What's my favorite Richtofen quote? I don't know if I can necessarily pick one, but I'll give you a couple of my favorites. I need to find some ammunition. Ah! Ah! That's a good one. And then Call the Dead during the Easter egg. I need you to help me find something. It looks like a long, hard, stiff golden rod. Your mod, you clip it. I think anyone can clip it. Someone needed to clip yesterday. I did a really good impression of the Pentagon Thief. Because you guys know the noises the Pentagon Thief makes where he's like... Like, that's what he does when he's screaming. I know, I'm trying to think, some of my favorite Richtofen quotes for Ultimus, believe it or not, are on Alpha Omega. Nine! Good for Georgia. Ah! That could have been bad. Of the quotes Richtofen and Nikolai share, who says them better? That's a good question. It probably depends on the quote. You'd have to ask me more specifically. Ah, nostalgia. It really isn't what it used to be. Ultimus Richtofen is just a toned down version and he's more boring. I feel like those Takio quotes where he's aware that he's the least interesting character don't really happen until like Black Ops 4 and maybe a little bit of Black Ops 3. Isn't there a quote on Classified where Takio's like, oh, I did something, that's why I'm the favorite character, right? This drink is my favorite. I cannot express how much I enjoy its invigorating taste and acceptable finish. That's when he's buying Speed Cola, right? Oh. These rounds are getting longer. 9 minutes a round. How many hordes are you able to get through a single trap run? With this strategy, I'm doing exactly 2 hordes per trap. So 2 over here, 2 over here. However, with the other strategies, 3.0, you like do 3 hordes per trap on average, and then 5.0, it's like 5 hordes per both traps, and then 5.5 is like 5.5 per both traps or something. I forget exactly how it works. My favorite Quick Revive quote is Dempsey's quote. Ugh, tastes like fermented cat piss, or fermented fish dipped in cat piss, or whatever it is. Takio likes Quick Revive because he likes fish, which is stereotypical. But also, like, listen, you could say whatever you want about it. The characters were funny because a lot of them were stereotypes. They were stereotypes with personality. American stereotypes, German stereotypes, Russian stereotypes, Japanese stereotypes. They're just all funny. If I had designed this, it would have sucked and not blown. Too bad Richtofen never gets to use the jet gun, because he is not playable in Black Ops 6, nor on Transit. Reach for vodka tonight. That's another good one. Nikolai talking about his many wives is always a classic. I'm shocked they never made a Richtofen operator for BO6. I was certain that they were going to do that as a cash grab. Like, hey, buy the fucking battle pass and you can get Primus and Ultimus back for whatever non-canon garbage reason. By the way, it is worth mentioning, in my previous game, when I died on 78, I believe by round 70, I was already out of quick revives. And right now I'm flawless. So I wasn't joking when I said, like, listen, one more game where I get a setup and it's the run. Like, I'm pretty confident this is the run. How have I already been live for 2 hours? It really doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it because I'm having fun. Can we talk about why there's glass all over the floor? Am I crazy, or like, why is there glass everywhere that hasn't despawned? I think I shot a crossbow at the window and it like exploded the glass all over the room. Just go for world record at this point. I am already too slow to go for world record because I've been running 2.0 for so long. I would have to run, like, I would probably have to run labs, and I would have to run either 3.0 or 5.0 or 5.5. Is this all of them? I'm gonna need to bow here. Or am I? Never mind, I'm nasty. Woo! Also, Wizard, I'm gonna have to talk about how zombies can get stuck in this window. So, I don't know if you want to clip that as a moment. It has happened like 3 times so far. Why did he become an alcoholic to begin with? Didn't it actually have to do with, like, Richtofen's experiments were the reason why they became, like, the extreme versions they are? Because remember, Richtofen, like, kept them in a fucking lab where Tagter Toten is. Yeah, they were subjected to a lot of 115. Remember, we see the Ultimus crew in fucking vats in Tagter Toten. With Pablo, of course. Never playable, finally shows up at the very end. Pablo Marinus. Ultimate Crew were starting to get normal at the end of Classified? I wouldn't say so. You could say that they might seem slightly more normal in the Classified cutscene, but like they're still just as bonkers in Alpha Omega. I wonder how much content we would get if we got a standalone Zombies game. It's hard to say. It depends a lot on when this hypothetical game releases. Like, if we got it, like, around Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, we probably would have gotten, like, every map remastered and then some. And it could have very well been a game like Warzone that they just perpetually support and perpetually add new maps to. Or we could have gotten, like, Warzone-ified, ruined zombies that would have sucked. Because, like, if we got a standalone zombies game, but every map plays like Black Ops 7, like, people would just hate it. And then people would be pointing at it and go, see, this is why we can't have a zombies alone game, because you guys hate anything. But remember, in this theoretical standalone zombies game, this would ideally be a game that is like 100% worked on zombies, and like you're not borrowing assets from campaign or multiplayer, and you're not like wasting resources on campaign or multiplayer. You just put 100% of the game into zombies. So meaning you gotta make zombies like 3 times bigger to make it worth a $60 price tag on its own. Do you think BO1 Darius world record would be beaten? I think it will be beaten eventually, yes. I don't know who will be the one to do it, but there's a few people playing Darius. I believe 255 is possible in Darius. Okay, liberals, if you're so smart, why does Melania hate me? How do you guys feel about the ZWR community? I despise it. The website, not necessarily all the players, but it's like, it's just sort of a toxic environment that never seems to get better and has always been that way for years. And half the rules on the site are just dumb. And, like, despite this having been a known issue for years and years, despite the fact that there's been, like, 5 or 6 competitors to ZWR that have come up over the years, and despite the fact that there are many top players who outright refuse to submit to them, they have, like, no self-reflection, and they have no concept of, like, hey, maybe we should try to unify the community and fucking make it make sense. Was Double Tap 2.0 was BO2. Shame basically does nothing on BO2. It does basically as much on BO2 as it does on BO3. Yeah, you get like slightly easier AAT activations, but it's like, it's not 100% critical to have double tap in a lot of cases. It's like a slight speed buff, and very minor. Double tap 2 in BO3 has the double tap 1 logo for some reason. Well, that's not true, because what you see on screen is the double tap logo from BO3. Which top players refuse to be part of the ZWR community? Me, for one. But a lot of BO4 players who just don't submit. A lot of BO1 and BO2 players who just don't submit. If you think a bunch of ragtag boomers who got tricked into believing what Trump's lies are Nazis. Well, listen. You could argue it's the sort of thing that, like, oh, I didn't realize leopards would eat my face. Oh, I didn't realize that the nice people that the nice Mexican people and the nice brown people that I care about would be deported. I thought they were only going after the bad ones. Which, in some ways is a very similar sentiment to what many Germans ended up thinking about. Oh, I didn't realize that they were going to go after all the Jews. There was a lot of nice ones that got, like, swept up. I thought they were only going after the bad ones. Wonderful is a top player, yes. He had the world record on Buried multiple times. I want to say he had it like 3 times. Because he had like a 156 world record, he had a 170 something world record, and then he had the 233. I'm trying to remember if there was one more world record. It looks like the 5 spawn room. He had more than 3? Sounds about right. Oh, fuck. I like, literally blanked and I forgot to hit the trap. I just, like, kept walking. I will show you. So, this is a follow-up to what I was talking about towards the end of yesterday's stream. Wonderful and I are planning an IRL meetup. I want you to just, you guys can read this conversation for a moment while I use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. So yeah, we might do a fun little challenge the next time we meet up in person. Like I said, I told you guys I was confident, like, this is gonna be the run. In my last game, I had burned all my quick revives by this point, and I was still quite close. I have all my quick revives still remaining. What song is this? This is the Underground theme. It's this. From Mario Kart World, of course. Oh. Oh, is this Thief this round? Yeah.
Warning. Breach detected on level 3.
I love Mario Kart World. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. Right, I think it's the game I play the most right now besides Zombies. That never gets old.
This works.
Is there box error on Moon from all the trading? Box error exists on every map, but because of the nature of, like, you get a lot of max ammos because you're hacking every power-up into a max ammo, so you do a lot less trades, and almost always you should be resetting before you box error. If you get bad luck, you can box error. Mario Kart World does have a split reception. A lot of it just has to do with the routes between courses, just because a lot of them are generally quite boring. It's weird, because, like, the longer I play the game, the more I'm, like, really warming up to playing the routes and finding them interesting and, like, finding fun strategies and shortcuts and... I find it interesting they started capping zombie health with Yuri. Well, the dogs had capped health before he did. Do you do claymores in the elevator just because it's funny? It is not the only way to kill him on high rounds. There's a couple ways to deal with him on high rounds. One of the ways that you can deal with him is to just let him steal your MPL. And then, like, just buy it back. That's a way to deal with him that doesn't involve claymores. But I do the claymores in the elevator just because it is, like, the simplest method. Where basically all I gotta do every time he spawns in, just stand in the elevator, free round. You think a new Smash Bros is coming soon? I don't think so. I would be very surprised. I would be more inclined to say that, like, the next Smash is going to be some port of Ultimate, or it's going to be like just more DLC for Ultimate and like a Switch 2 version. Cuz I don't think they're going to release a new one cuz like Mario Kart Smash Ultimate is already playable on the Switch 2. There's no reason to do another Smash on the Switch 2 if it's not just going to be an expansion of Ultimate. You also have to consider, if they are going to do a brand new Smash game, there's no way they're going to be able to bring back all the characters again. Like, the amount of contract negotiations that went into Ultimate was absurd. They almost didn't get Snake back. It was ridiculously hard to get Sephiroth into the game. Minecraft Steve took like 5 years of negotiations before they let him be in a Smash game. And like, you would have to get all the contracts to do every single character again, which is gonna be borderline impossible at this point, or it would take years. And even if you are gonna do that, like, the more likely option is that the next Smash game is going to have fewer characters, and that's just going to be less exciting. Brawl being playable on Wii U is true, but I think that's sort of a little different, because there was a bigger difference between the Wii and the Wii U's capabilities versus the Switch and the Switch 2. Like, you already had to... You couldn't buy Brawl for the Wii U without, like, buying the disc for it for the Wii. Whereas, like, the Switch 2, every Switch game is already available. How many down so far? 0. I highly doubt they're doing a new one. Especially because, like, Sakurai's getting old. Sakurai's getting tired. I think that he wanted Ultimate to be, like, a real final send-off for the series. Don't get me wrong, there are some characters that I would still really love to see come to Smash that I'm surprised it didn't for Ultimate. Not having Crash Bandicoot, not having Spyro, those are two characters that totally deserve spots. Plus, I don't think this would ever happen because of the nature of Call of Duty being a mature game, and there's almost no characters from M-rated games in the game. Almost none. There's a couple. But, like, I would love to see a Smash character where the 8 skins are Primus and Ultimus. And it's like, I guess Richtofen would be the main character, but, like, every Primus and every Ultimus as a character. You could use different wonder weapons, and, like, the fucking Paralyzer could be your up B. That'd be so cool. Master Chief, yeah. Trying to do 100 on BO1 Darius, and it's hard for you to not burn your first revive by 35. I would always say take it slow and safe. Slow and steady wins the race. What would Primus and slash Ultimus' final smash be? That's a good question. There's a few things you could go with. I mean, if I want to be realistic, basically every new character that's introduced, like almost all of the DLC characters in Smash Ultimate and almost all the new characters in Smash Ultimate had cutscene final smashes. So I'd imagine like theirs would be some sort of cutscene where like Samantha is sending a bunch of zombies at the player. It could also be cool if it like spawned in a bunch of zombies. I don't own any gun from BO1 IRL. I don't own any actual weapons. But I would love to have a ray gun replica. That would be so cool. 2B. Like, you know what the final smash can be? You know in the classified opening cutscene when there's that one scene where Samantha's like pointing and sending a horde of zombies towards the player? Like something like that, where like you see Samantha in the MPD like sending a bunch of zombies towards everyone. The ray gun would be like neutral B. And then side smashes could be like the Wonder Waff or the Thunder Gun or something. Up B would be the Paralyzer. There was that one ray gun replica. I don't know if you guys have seen it like on the internet, but there's that one ray gun replica that like you can change the colors and you can shoot it and reload it for real. And it costs like $1,000, but it looks so cool. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. I would kill to have one of those. Except I wouldn't necessarily pay $1,000 for it. Staffs for smash attacks would be cool. You could have every character using their favorite staff. As long as you make it so that all the staffs do the same amount of damage towards other players, which would be easy to implement. The final smash could also be something similar to the Revelations end cutscene, where you have like all 4 characters together and they like join their stabs for some super attack or something. You're surprised they haven't tried adding the ray gun to multiplayer yet? Well, modders have done that a bunch. The Smash rendition of the Zombies music. Now, okay, now here's a really important question. If we did see COD zombies, like Primus and Ultimus, get added as playable characters, what would their stage be? What zombies map would be iconic enough to be turned into a Smash stage? You could make an argument for like the Kino der Toten stage. It could also be one of those transforming stages. Moon? I don't think it would be Moon. Moon Biodome? I don't think Moon Biodome is iconic enough to be the stage that represents COD Zombies in Smash. It could be Revelations, and like it's one of those stages where you travel between locations and you would see like a bunch of different maps. That's something. Kino's Theater, I feel like, would be dope. And just like a classic, most people will recognize it, like... Transit. No, it wouldn't be Transit. Hey, Wizard, this is your favorite song, right? Kino's Theater is cliche. There's a lot of Smash stages that are cliche. The point is sort of just to be representative of the series. Like, Mario Maker is a very cliche map. Just fucking a random Mario stage that changes every time you play it. Is Darice iconic enough? Darice could be iconic enough. Like the Darice teleporter or something like that. The other thing you have to consider is what you want the scale of the stage to be. Like, how large do you want the characters to be in relation to their environment? Because I feel like Primus and Ultimus as Smash characters would sort of be scaled down. Like, they would be shorter than someone like Sephiroth. Origins? Origins would be cool, too. If you got, like, if the robots could, like, step on the stage or something. Darice Catwalk? That would be less recognizable. Because you don't have to think about... Don't think about, like, the stage area itself. Also think about, like, the environment around it. The area around the stage should be recognizable. Which is why I say, like, the Kino stage is perfect. Because you could literally have it just be a flat stage with nothing other than, like, zombies that spawn in the background and, like, the projector behind you and whatnot. And that would already be recognizable. Nuketown Zombies, I would say people think of Nuketown multiplayer before they think of Nuketown Zombies. It would be weird to have that be the Smash stage representation of zombies. You could have, like, the Shadow Man and or Dr. Monty as, like, a stage hazard similar to the Yellow Devil on the Mega Man stage, or, like, Rathalos on the Monster Hunter stage. Or wait, there isn't a Monster Hunter stage. There is in World of Light and like classic mode. But like Ridley is like a boss on some of the stages, not in Smash Ultimate, but in prior games. Dr. Monty assist trophy, Shadow Man assist trophy would go crazy. Actually, you know what? I hate to admit it, but you know what would end up being an assist trophy? Is the fucking, Disciple. Disciple would be an assist trophy, and it would suck, too. It would, like, use the same attacks that it does on Cold War. The Dennis would be an assist trophy? What's the Dennis? The denizens? Oh yeah, the denizens from Transit. That would be terrible. That would be wild. If they fucking like latch onto you and you like can't attack until you deal with them. Honestly, like probably an assist trophy would be like Samantha spawns in and then spawns a bunch of zombies and dogs to attack enemies. I think that would be realistic in terms of an assist trophy. The Dennis. Hellhounds could work because you can make them, instead of being like a Hellhound that just has a lot of health that you have to like kill, you could make it so that Hellhounds are like easy to kill but a bunch of them spawn and then they keep spawning. Like you have to deal with a Hellhound round, if that makes sense. How much longer am I going to be live today? Probably another hour, give or take. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Usually 3 hours is like the amount of time I feel comfortable streaming, but I'm feeling all right now, so it might go a little longer. I'll see what round I end up getting to. Because, like, I just want to set myself up in such a way that, like, I can start my next stream and finish the 100. And not have it take too long. But also, at the same time, I don't want to spend too much time streaming today where, like, I finish the 100 in under an hour next time I stream. So, sort of finding a balance of, like, probably another hour is what I'll play. And then I'll have, like, 3 hours left, give or take. Hey, Mohammed. Snake, Solid Snake is not an IRL person. He's David Hayter? Well, every character in the... Well, not every. Most characters in the game have a voice actor or actress. That's like saying... That's like saying that Nero is Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum plays Nero, but he is not Nero himself. Is this round? I think this is round. Do you think Big E is alive and well? Oh. No, I don't think he's alive. It is really funny, the whole, Palm Beach Pete. Because it would be ridiculous if he was genuinely hiding in plain sight and Palm Beach Pete is actually Jeffrey Epstein. Because listen, if Jeffrey Epstein were really alive, he wouldn't be all over social media going, "What up, guys? I'm Palm Beach Pete." Like, he would have fucking changed identities and fled off the grid by now. But no, I don't think he's alive. I don't think he killed himself, but that's a separate conversation. What wall? The wall in Israel that every politician kisses for some reason. COD could have been a spirit. There's a lot of games that, like, only got spirit representation that could have very well had characters and or stages, but I believe part of the reason is it's sort of difficult to represent something from an M-rated game. Like, they had to do a lot of workarounds with, like, Solid Snake and also with Bayonetta to, like, make it acceptable. No downs, Coopster. Still flawless. Which, again, like I said, is good, considering that in my previous game I died on 78, and I had already burned all of my quick revives by this point. Am I a fan of Super Mario 64 speedruns? I don't actively follow it, but I've seen some. They're interesting. I like other Mario game speedruns better, actually. Is the bow used in any of the faster strats for non-safety purposes? Not for the trap strats, no. Because, like, you wouldn't have enough bow ammo. Like, you wouldn't be using a bow every horde. You wouldn't have enough bow ammo for that. Or whatever. But for the low round strategy, if you camp in the labs, you can use the bow to, like, help you gather zombies so that you can ray gun them more effectively. Like, you can run bow, ray gun, Mustang, and Sally's as your 3 weapons. I believe that is what, like, the 50 speedrun does for the, for the lab strategy. Which Mario speedruns? I like Super Mario World speedruns. I like watching, like, a lot of, like, mainly the 2D Mario speedruns. Super Mario World, Super Mario 3, even the original. And I mean, granted, I haven't caught up with it in a while, but I liked watching the Wonder speedruns when the game was new. Highest round with no traps is 50. Well, what's the no power world record on this map? Because no power is no traps. And I'm pretty sure no power, like, you have no choice but to trade out the ray gun, I guess. There's no other way to kill zombies. There's no spot where you can realistically, like, use despawn mechanics or anything of the like. Which version of Mario 3 do I like most? NES, SNES, or GBA? The original NES. The one where you fucking, like, warp to the credits in World 7. Round 58, world record, 5 no power. So yeah, that answers your question. It's like, you're not entirely wrong that, like, you can't go that high. Because literally the strat's trading out ray guns, and it's kind of miserable in a way. And you're trading out ray guns with no perks but quick revive. Do thief rounds still happen with no power? They do not. That's a good question. Yeah, thief rounds don't start until you turn on power. Yeah, the gold crossbow looks really nice. The gold camo in general, I just love using. It's simple because it's not like a custom camo where, like, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's a custom camo. Like, it is natively a camo that is in the game. It's just not one that's in zombies. But it looks so clean. The gold camo thunder gun looks nice, wave gun, the fucking baby gun. They could have made gold instead of a Pack-a-Punch camo. It would have set a very different precedent. Because, like, if gold was the Pack-a-Punch camo, would they have also done that for BO2? And then, would they have still come up with the idea of a custom camo for Mob of the Dead and Origins, which would then continue on to other maps? Yeah, gold camo was the WAF Pack-a-Punch camo, which is interesting. Which is a decision that was made, like, just for Black Ops 1 Derice and nothing else. I would love Dark Matter on BO3 as a Pack-a-Punch camo. Although, I definitely prefer the thematic camos to the map that BO3 has. BO3 has really good camos all around. BO4, I think they start to get quite a bit worse. Yeah, the Revelations camos are beautiful. I do have Cherry Fizz on Black Ops 3. That was limited. The limited camos that you could, like, only get by buying supply drops when they were available was kind of a weird concept that I'm not the biggest fan of. Should be close to the end of the round. Do you have a Juggernog fridge? I do not, unfortunately. Waiting till they bring back the Liquefier. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought back the Liquefier to Black Ops 7 and it was broken. I had 73 Thief, right? Do do do. I had 72 Thief? Oh, did I? I thought it was 73. I guess either way, either my Thief is guaranteed next round or it isn't, but if it was 72, then it's guaranteed. Oh, I did have 72, that's right, because I had 67. Yeah, so it's guaranteed next round. You love the World at War camo? The World at War camo is nice. I think it looks worse in Black Ops 3. I'll tell you, I like the Black Ops 1 Pack-a-Punch camo, except I don't like how it looks in Black Ops 3 at all. Black Ops 3, they made it a lot worse. And yeah, I like Mob of the Dead also. Yeah, the World at War maps on BO3 use the Giant camo. The Giant's camo is supposed to be a recreation of the World at War camo, but it's very different. And then the Black Ops 1 maps, like, brought back their camo, but it just looks worse. Like, it looks way too red on Black Ops 3. Ba, ba, ba. Hey, look, 200,000 points. Bum, bum, bum. Favorite Pack-a-Punch weapon name? The Kraus Refibrillator. Let's go, round 74. Bro's behind on the stream. Oh, never mind. Oh, the Skull Crusher's a good one, too. What's the name of the Helion Salvo upgraded again? I really should know this. I forgot to buy ammo. Zetro's Orbital Arbalest. Yeah, you're right. That one's actually not very good. Mustang and Sally's another good one. Can't go wrong with Mustang and Sally. Reznov's Revenge, the upgraded AK-47. The meat wagon. Yeah, the foul becomes the epic, or rather, the FN foul becomes the epic win, and then I'm pretty sure the foul in Black Ops 2 just becomes the win, right? Magnus Operandi. That's the whatchamacallit. The Magma Gat. What's the name of the upgraded Sundergat? It's gotta be terrible, right? Is there a mod that adds more BO1 guns in T5? There are a few mods that add weapons to zombies, including the BO1 Reimagined mod, which has a lot of, like, partially quality of life, partially, like, adding new features. It's interesting. Like, you could look up the BO1 Reimagined mod. There's some interesting stuff about it. This is round. And it's Pentagon Thief.
Warning. Breach detected on level 3. Initiate security protocol 115.
The Sunder Purge? That's dumb.
System monitoring will remain on alert status.
Ah, just what the doctor ordered.
So you'll notice I killed him while the trap was on. I don't know what causes the bug, but how many hours approximately to get to 100? About 8 hours, give or take. Probably slightly over. We'll see how lucky I am with Thief rounds, because Thief rounds are just skip rounds, basically. It's the Holistic Dichotomizer? That's even worse. You feel like they got the DEFCON levels wrong in this map? How so? What is the Dingo Pact, though? Yeah, the Dire Wolf. By the way, it is worth mentioning, I am on the same round that I game overed in my previous game, and I'm flawless right now. So, like, this is the run. I'm calling it. I might even get to 100 flawless. We'll see. You know, the PAP to LSAT because LSAT is an acronym for last, L-S-A-T, L-A-S-T. So instead of last, now it's first. Except with the letters reversed, so it's for cert LSAT. DEFCON 1 is the worst case scenario one? Well, yeah. Wouldn't worst case scenario be, hey, a horde of zombies is actively invading the Pentagon? That seems like it would call for DEFCON 1. Why does an alarm go off when you set it to DEFCON 5? I think an alarm just goes off anytime you hit the switch, period. Just to, like, warn everyone in the building, hey, the status is changing. Also, the alarm Oh, fuck off. The alarm is less about, like, what's going on in the canon and more about, like, just alerting the players. Hey, Pack-a-Punch is open. Be careful when you teleport. Alright, I gotta be careful, because those guys are gonna despawn at any moment. I don't want to activate the next trap until they do. Oh. Or they'll just climb out. Unless they started climbing out because one of them despawned. Which is exactly what happened. A couple of them despawned. Good save. What is awful Lawton reference? I'm not sure. When you say where the main menu is, what do you mean? Like, on Earth, where it is? Don't you leave the interrogation room towards the end of the campaign? Like, you walk out the door? What location is that? Here, let's see. Named after my buddy that worked on the zombie side of Call of Duty, Andre Lawton. Which does correlate with what these people are saying, like, there's a bot called A. Lawton, so there must have been a dev called A. Lawton. By the way, chat, I think I'm gonna play to like round 80 and then call it. Just because I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued, and I'm in a nice position where, like, if I take a break on 80, by the time I come back, I'll have like 2 hours left of gameplay, and that'll be a reasonable length of stream to, like, finish that up. Goat map and song, Waluigi's Pinball. I agree. Also Wario Stadium. Don't forget that. Wario Stadium is better in 8 Deluxe than it was in Mario Kart DS, for sure. How long do the rounds take now? They're like just over 10 minutes. Like this one should be over any second now. Oh, I forgot to buy ammo. Oh no. Wario Stadium is not in Mario Kart Wii. Waluigi Stadium is. Eight and 8 Deluxe, they play very differently in a lot of ways because of double items, because of Boo, and the battle mode. But, like, I think when the games first came out, they were much more similar than they are now. The big difference now is just the fact that 8 Deluxe has 96 courses, whereas 8 only has 48. This is round. Alright, I'm gonna play one more round, and then I'm gonna call it. I promised round 100 though. I did. I didn't say this stream. I said the opposite of that. Aren't you halfway right now in terms of kills? I'm more than halfway because of the Pentagon Thief. Pentagon Thief shaves a lot of time, so the halfway point's earlier. DK Spaceport, let's go. DK Spaceport, genuinely like a top 5 course in the Mario Kart series for me. It feels like Mario Kart World's version of Mount Wario. How many kills do I have right now? Not that many. 2,000? Because remember, trap kills don't count as kills on the scoreboard. How many hours do you usually expect to need for a round 100 run? On this map, it's going to be about 8 hours. At least with this strategy. But if you're asking generally, it depends heavily on the map and what strategy you're running. Die Rise is very fast. Because there's no spawn delay on BO2, and also the Suckifier is just incredibly powerful, even more so when you're in an area with only 2 spawns. What's the fastest round 100 in Zombies history? It's D Machine? D Machine is like under an hour and a half. Ashes? How fast is Ashes? Pre-patch? Well, as in currently. That's not after BO3, so BO3 and earlier. BO3 Moon and BO3 Ascension are both really fast. I can't remember which one has a lower record. I want to say it's Moon. Yeah, Cold War only has a third of the zombies as the games prior. So round 100s are just generally quicker because of that reason alone. Also, you have Rampage Inducer, which speeds it up even more. Yeah, BO3 Moon, BO3 Ascension are both, like, under 3 hours. I think Rev is under 3 hours as well. Die Rise is under 3 hours. No BO1 map comes close to that, though. Origins is under 4 hours, for the record. I don't think it's under 3, though. Yeah, Cold War has a health cap. If Origins had Vulture, do I think 255 would be possible? No, because Black Ops, like, Vulture wouldn't solve the robots' crashes. You can't get to 255 in 25 hours. I mean, Alice, if I forget to buy ammo, oh no, what else am I gonna do with my 200,000 points? How will I ever afford to pay for the traps? Like, it doesn't mean anything. Fun fact, round 935 has 2,377 zombies. Is that always the same? How did, like, doesn't the zombie count sort of fluctuate because, like, special enemies count weirdly? Ah, shit. If Origins didn't have the animation error, would 255 be possible? Maybe. With Gen Strat and like a 90-hour reset, possibly. More likely, yes. Like, assuming none of the errors existed, basically. That's on D Machine with just normal zombies, but you never have just normal zombies because you always have play counts. You tested it with power off? How'd you do that? Yeah, Bandolier would have been really busted on BO1. Well, Bandolier Bandit may not have worked the same way on BO1. Because remember, the original idea was Ammo-matic, which would have just been like a free max ammo. It would have been broken as hell if you could just pay for a max ammo. Completely ruining the game. Hey, just like the ammo crates. Yeah, it was meant for World at War, but then there was also a couple of, like, canceled perks that would have been on Black Ops 1. Like, wasn't Tough Brew supposed to be a thing? And there was, like, a different version of Ammo-Matic that was sort of similar to Bandolier that was supposed to be on Ascension. Hold on, let me regroup here. This horde just got a little weird. How did World War II balance ammo refills? Yeah, Tough Brew was like half of what PhD did. Like, it was like 2 perks that got combined to become PhD. Ever had birria sauce before tacos? Well, I love birria tacos, period. In case you're wondering why I shot there, it was because there was multiple zombies coming through the door there that could have gotten me trapped if I jumped through. Alright, the round should be close to over, and then I'm gonna end the stream. It does feel like it went by quick. You can buy ammo for non-wonder weapons, but you need max ammos to refill wonder weapons. That would have already been better as a system than what Cold War and onwards did. Like, that would have been relatively balanced on Black Ops 1. Because, like, on high rounds, you can't just, like, buy infinite ammo anyway, because the ammo's not going to do anything. But, I don't know, at the same time, I guess if it doesn't refill the ray gun either, that would be fine. Yeah, it would just mean buying ammo for box weapons like you can with wall weapons. Alright. I'm gonna call it here. What breed of the classic Hellhounds? Yeah, I believe German Shepherd, or whatever breed Fluffy is in the Origins cutscene. Alright. Okay, so I likely will not be streaming tomorrow. I don't think. If I end up having time, I will, but I don't think I'm going to have time to stream tomorrow. So my next stream will definitely be Friday. Yeah, things are going well. So remember, in the previous run, I GG'd on round 78. I'm currently on 80 and I'm flawless. So this is the run. I'm calling it. Next stream, we will have 100 on 5. The video will be out after that. Like, I'm saying it straight up. I don't even have monkeys. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, calling it here. So the next stream will be Friday, probably around a similar time to this, maybe slightly earlier. we'll bang out the 100, and that'll be that. And then I'll actually be able to continue my buried game. But, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on Friday. All right, goodbye, everyone.